John Frohnmeyer, who runs the National Endowment for the Arts in Washington, sits on a big pile of money that he gets from Congress each year. His job is to give it away. Doesn't sound like dangerous work. But when Frohnmeyer decided not to give money to 4 performance artists earlier this year, one of them, Karen Finley, wrote this text behind me. The artists accused him of caving into conservatives. The conservatives want to cut the endowment. And in the middle, sweating, sits Mr. Frohnmeyer. And he is not alone. Being in the middle between artists and politicians right now in America is hazardous duty. And nobody knows that better than Mr. Tony Jones, president of the Chicago Art Institute School of the Arts.
We are a kind of laboratory for the visual arts. And like most laboratories, we create all sorts of different kinds of things and different kinds of experiments. And sometimes we create tranquilizers and sometimes we create gunpowder. Latterly in Chicago, it's been gunpowder.
The Art Institute deals with art. That is not art.
For example, 3 years ago, a student painted this not very flattering portrait of Mayor Harold Washington of Chicago. Washington, the city's first black mayor, had died just months before the painting was shown. So when word got out, several members of the Chicago Board of Aldermen arrived at the school.
Okay, I'm going to set this down right here, and I'm going to turn this around, and we're going to wait right here. We're going to respect this. No, the student don't matter. The student can't put this up here unless authority gives them the privilege to put it. We have no pause with the student. We want good fine arts in Chicago.
They wish to destroy the painting, and I declined to allow them to do that, and I asked the police department to prevent them from doing that too. They kept the painting close to them, and we engaged in a debate for a number of hours in the office, after which the police arrested the painting.
To protect that painting from the alderman, Tony Jones let the police wrap it up and march it out of the building.
The picture's in jail.
This is fascism.
Please come back into the institute.
You want to sit still and let them take art. It's absolutely disgraceful, and it will not be tolerated by any of us who loved Harold Washington. Get it straight. We're prepared to go down to the line.
Did the painting then go back up onto the wall?
No, by that time the painting was the subject of the ACLU's concern and the student artists' concern. The competition was over, the painting was damaged, etc. So, no, it didn't go back on the wall.
Some students say the painting should never have left the building, and they were a bit surprised when Tony Jones paid for 2 full-page ads in the local paper apologizing for, quote, the distress and concern that this painting caused the community.
It's a matter of simply saying, look, this was an offensive thing. We recognize that you are distressed and offended. I don't see anything wrong with that.
So, having navigated between the alderman and the painting and the public and the students, the school year finally ended for Tony Jones. But 1 year later...
In fact, it was February the 14th. I thought, oh, God, here we go, another St. Valentine's Day massacre in Chicago.
One nation, under God, indivisible.
I'm a revolutionary, and I try and make, revolutionary proletarian artwork, and I think that, much of my work actually, is participatory and challenges people on sharp political lines.
That student, named Dred Scott, decided to exhibit a work at the school. He called it, What is the Proper Way to Display the American Flag?, which included an American flag lying on the floor.
You gotta be kidding me.
And on the wall, just above the flag, was a shelf with a notebook where people could write comments. But since the flag was in the way, people had to decide, should I step on the flag, which is a crime, or no?
Freedom of expression.
Hey, look. This flag is being used. I'm a veteran myself, please.
Then you should honor the flag too.
I can't.
If you're a veteran, then you can understand what this flag is.
I can't let you do it, okay?
This is a disgrace to the American people.
I agree with you, but I can't let you do it.
All the men, millions of men who fought during World War II.
Can't let you do it, sir.
You fought for everything. Doesn't allow censorship.
Come on.
That's not censorship, guys. This was a censorship.
You take it away, it's censorship. You take it away, it's censorship. It is? You fought for society. We fought for it. We fought, and I'll fight for freedom of expression. 3 years in a damn POW camp for it. And I respect what you did, but respect what you do too. And then you disgrace it like this. You don't even know how to. That's not disgrace. If you want to disgrace something, why don't you go to Russia or someplace and do it and see what you do? You want censorship? You go to Russia. You're trying to censor.
Now arrest me.
The flag does not belong there. And it does not belong there, and it's not supposed to be that way. Get over here. Now, if you want to protest, sign a protest. I'm not. Because we're not going to allow the flag to stay soiled so you people can say it's a work of art. I'm sorry. Now, if you want to arrest me, go ahead and arrest me.
People are not used to seeing art like this. They're not used to seeing art that is deliberately confrontational, deliberately provocative, and which is very issue-oriented. How many times over the last 20 years have you heard people saying, oh, God, I'm sick and tired of this abstract art. I can't understand what all this minimalism is about. Bring back figurative art. Well, it's back.
Okay? Because it's totally right. You can do what you do. Okay?
All the veterans came in and it became a very emotional situation right then. People saying they're going to bring, use the M16 or blow up the school or leverage your lobby, or these students, once they leave the premises, they're mine, and there are very real death threats to, the students at school in general. And when all these veterans started to show up really fast, it became very scary, and a lot of students were scared to come to school.
Joe Medish was president of Dred Scott's class at the time.
Yes. It really scared a lot of people. I'd never seen anything like that. I mean, Harold Washington was kind of intense, but this was very scary.
This has never happened to, really any, it's like, this was internationally in the news for a month, and has generated laws. The President of the United States declared my work disgraceful. He actually commented on my artwork, so it's like, that hasn't really happened to anybody, or at least very few people, particularly within the fine arts.
Through it all, Tony Jones defended the flag piece. First in court, where it was finally declared constitutional, though the cost of security, lawyers, lost revenues came to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But the school, they fell out on the right side that time. They actually stood by it. They actually, didn't pull the piece. It would have been very politically easy for them to remove my piece that time around, but they didn't.
Until 1 year later.
After the flag flap, as it's called, quietened down, we returned to the subject. Flag 2, or center flag.
This time, Tony Jones finally said no to an artwork.
I was censored, straight up. He could, for whatever reason, claim that he, did it, and that, might be justifiable, but straight up it was censorship.
Dred Scott, now a senior, decided that for this year's graduation show, he would exhibit the same flag on the floor piece from the year before.
I, put a piece in a student exhibit that supposedly anybody could put anything they wanted in, and they said, no, you can't show it, and it was for, purely political reasons.
There were 3 kinds of artwork that the school would not exhibit. Work that was illegal, work that was dangerous, and there was artwork that could, of course, fall over or give off noxious gases or something or other, which could be dangerous and difficult, and also work that would be disruptive to the educational process. Well, my goodness, we know what the flag piece could do.
You know this is going to put the heat on. Why do it?
Well, the thing is, it's like, first of all, I was principally looking at what's going on in the world, and it's sort of like, if there's a fire in a theater, I'm going to scream fire. I'm not going to say, well, gee, it's going to freak some people out if I do that. I think it's
even people who were busily trying to protect you the last fire round.
But the thing is, there is a fire. Right now, this is a country in which they're trying to, strip away the rights to abortion, which is going to mean women will die. This is a country which just invaded Panama, which is taking away artists to jail for making rap songs, which is putting museum directors in jail and persecuting and prosecuting them for showing artwork.
Whether or not they agreed with him, now the students had to decide should they support Dred Scott or not.
A lot of people are upset with him, but they're more angry about what's being done against him than they are with him.
In the end, more than 30 students decided to take their paintings out of the show to protest Tony's decision. And then Tony Jones told the students,
enough already.
Now, is that good enough? I asked him. Flag 1, you're for free expression. Now comes flag 2, and your principles go to enough already.
My principles have gone to enough already? You're joking.
That's the issue, I think.
Come on, Robert. My record on supporting the First Amendment and supporting even Scott Tyler's right to show this noxious piece last year is absolutely unimpeachable. Right? We stood up for that, and we took hell. Right? We were in the trenches. It was combat. It was difficult, and all that kind of thing. And that was fine. It was the right thing for us to do.
The first time.
It was the right
And the second time?
And the second time, it was the right thing to protect the rights of those students who wanted to have an exhibition which contained their work that had never been seen before, would be shown for the first time, to protect those rights instead of showing this same tired piece that had already been shown.
So he didn't back down, he says. He looked squarely at his principles and
I didn't blink. I did the right thing.
Well, as Tony Jones begins the new school year, he says he's expecting another round, probably worse than last year or the year before. Because, he says, more artists are seeking to confront their audiences and make them mad, and more politicians are happy to get mad if in the process they can get votes.